السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. YouTube, كيف الحال يا يوتيوب? How are we doing, brothers and sisters? We are in for a jam. Sugar, I always make this mistake, man. We are in for a jam-packed, ram-packed live today, inshallah ta'ala. I got a lot in for you guys, but before you do that, have a look at the poll that I just put in the chat and vote before we get into it. Tell the truth. Do you think the photo that you see on the thumbnail is real or fake? Yes or no? Bismillah. Because your responses are very interesting to me. And for those of you who are watching on replay and you're not watching this live, first of all, sub the channel and turn your notifications on. Come on. Because it's not the same watching it on replay. It's much more fun watching it live, especially when you can call in. So that's the first thing. Second of all, my name is Mahdi Tidjani, for those of you who are new here, and I help men understand, especially Muslim men, why their wives don't like them, bruv. Why your woman doesn't like you, or if you're single, why women don't like you. That's my job, that's my role. Why, you may ask, why, Mahdi, do you place so much emphasis and focus in your content on women? Classic shaming tactics that women in particular like to use. There are more important things than women. You place so much focus and emphasis on them. And I would say you're absolutely right. I couldn't agree more with you. There are more important things than worrying about women. And that is why I create this content, so that men don't ruin their lives over a woman, as so many men have, from the lowest of the low to the highest of the high, to kings and emperors. Sultans have ruined their lives. Entire empires have collapsed over women. So I agree with you. The reason why this content is important is so that men can focus on more important things. So that's the purpose of that. Now, I can already see in the chat that there is already a great deal of controversy with regards to, well, a whole bunch of things, I guess. And I'm going to open the lines and give the opportunity for you guys to come on. Let me see what this does here. That's a bit better. Just playing around with the lighting right now. That's a little bit better. It's a bit too bright, bruv. I mean, there we go. Yeah, I prefer that. Don't look like a white pastel, although the white t-shirt looks like a white pastel, to be fair. Muhammad Al-Azawi, do you have mascara on? Bro, if I had a dime for every time I was asked this question, I would be a billionaire, bro. Can somebody please answer our brother Muhammad and let the brother know in the chat what it is that I am wearing? I am sick to death of answering this question. All right. Let the brother know, inshallah ta'ala, because I ain't saying it again. Okay. Now, earlier in the week, I posted this photo right here on Instagram, which is the photo that you see in the thumbnail. And let me just remove this for a second real quick, because I want to read the post out to you, the caption. And there was a reason why I posted that, as there is a reason for everything that I do. Please understand, okay? I am very strategic in what I do. Everything I do has a purpose. Firstly and foremostly, there is an intention behind it. I have to root this intention in something solid, ultimately. I don't just do things for no reason, just to create conversation or hate or whatever. I don't do things for no reason. There's always a purpose. With regards to my private life with women, wives in particular, I am reluctant to talk about my relationships that I have with my women, with my wives, because honestly, even saying it now, bro, I really don't want to say it, but I have no choice, because it's part of what I do. I experience, alhamdulillah, by the mercy of Allah, such exceptional, outstanding relationships with my wives that I really want that for you guys. I want that for you, bro. I really want you to have that. And the reason why I put that post up on the gram, the one that the photo that you see on this thumbnail, is for you to see that it is possible to have 2 or more wives and for them to be amicable with one another, to be able to be in the same room as each other without killing each other. That's it. I wanted you to know that I know how to pull this off. I know how to do it. I have a deep and rich understanding of 3 things. Number 1, women. I've been married for over 17 years consecutively to at least one woman. Despite my relatively young age, I have been married for 17 years consecutively. I've always had at least one wife in that 17-year period, at least one. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I have a very complex understanding of power dynamics and passion traps. And you might be thinking, well, what's that got to do with the price of fish? Everything. It has everything to do with the price of fish. It has everything to do with LeBron James's legacy. Because especially when you're dealing with women, 2 or more women in a polygynous relationship, women are masters at mind games. Masters, absolute masters. I don't know, I think they're born with it or something. They just know what's up. I don't know how, they just do. And if you don't understand the games that women innately play, sometimes they don't even realize it. They can't help it. It just comes out naturally. Your life is going to be ruined. It will be ruined, especially if you take on multiple women. But indeed, it can be ruined with just one woman. Right. So that's why I posted that, because I want you guys to understand that, look, it can work. Now, let me provide some context to that photo. Do my wives all live together? No, absolutely not. I've never attempted to have multiple women living together, and I know of 2 brothers who make it work: AbuAmerican and Coach Nazir. Coach Nazir from Outstanding Personal Relationships, and AbuAmerican. If you guys don't know who AbuAmerican is, then you've been living under a rock. However, for me, it's just not for me. Why? As one of my wives put it, she said, I don't want to know too much. I don't want to know too much. Very, very wise words. What was she referring to? Familiarity breeds contempt. Familiarity breeds contempt. You can start to, the more familiar you become with someone, the more you learn about them, the more things you have to be jealous of, the more things you have to be annoyed about. Have you ever seen the ocean? From far, the ocean, from far, it looks beautiful. And yet, when you walk right up to the ocean and you're on the pebbles or you're on the sand and you're looking at the ocean directly, you can see what? The rubbish, the seaweed, the fill in the blank, unless you're in the Mauritius or something. Have you ever seen a horse racing? A horse racing, when it races, if you are looking at the horse from a distance, it looks sleek and elegant, amazing, incredible. But when the camera zooms in on the face of the horse, you see all of that. You see its big goofy teeth sticking out and its nostrils flaring up. Ugly, horrible sight. From a distance, it looks incredible. Up close, it looks ugly. Similarly here, from a distance, when there's a healthy level of distance between the women, things can work. There are other caveats as well. That's not the only one. So you're going to have to wait until I give you the rest of the sauce. I'm not going to give it to you all at once. But that's one of them. So long as there's a healthy level of distance between them, it can work. The moment they get too close to each other, Then you're going to have to speak to Coach Nazir and AbuAmerican because that's out of my wheelhouse. However, for sure, it becomes more complicated. No doubt about it. It becomes more complicated. Bismillah. So now that you understand, alhamdulillah, why I put that post up, I want to explain to you why so many people were triggered, particularly the women, but not just the women, funnily enough, the men as well. So let's get through this. Let's read it. I hope you can see this. Yeah, it's not very zoomed in, but we'll do our best. There are 3 types of people who process this picture. This is the caption. First of all, I said read to the end. And by the way, the red robe in the background is mine. I didn't even clock it at the time. That was mine. There are 3 types of people who process this picture. Number 1, this is fake. Number 2, well, he's just rich / famous or infamous / muscly / fill in the blank. Number 3, Mahdi's no better than me. How can I pull this off? This message is for you who picked 3. You are right. I am no better than you. Sure, I'm in shape, and that helps. Sure, I'm muscly, and that helps. But you know better than me that there's plenty of tall, in shape, high status, wealthy, muscly brothers on reality TV dating shows that are useless with women, with one woman, never mind multiple women. Bro, I'm not even rich. In fact, that's one of my biggest flexes. What I do have is an ocean deep understanding of female psychology, power dynamics, and passion traps, built over 17 years of marriage and study. And all I want to do is share it with you so that you can conquer more important things in your life. You can't see the rest of that, but let me just scroll it. So that you can conquer more important things in life than worrying over women. That's it. Now, let me talk about that I'm not rich part for a moment, because it's very important. You know, one excuse people will give to men who have multiple women is, oh, she's just with him for the money. No, bro, I'm not rich. I am not rich. I ain't no Andrew Tate out here, bruv. No billionaire thing. Do you understand? I am not rich. However, I have other tools in my arsenal that I have had to learn, tailored over time, honing that craft, years of experience. And I'm trying to give you the cream of that experience, the cream of that knowledge, the cream of first-hand experimentation where things go wrong all the time. And I just want to give you the cream. That's it. Take it or leave it. So, with that being said, women are scared of this. They are terrified. What are they scared of, you ask? I will answer. They are scared of a number of things. One of those is losing control over their husbands. You know why I pay such little attention to the negativity and hatred that I get online, particularly from the women? It's because people are not honest. They're disingenuous. When they are complaining, griping, moaning, quote unquote, hating, they're not actually revealing all their cards to you. They have an insecurity that you have tickled, but they don't want to tell you that. So instead, they will say, he's a misogynist, he's a fill in the blank, whatever. Think of whatever name. Name calling, shaming, guilt tripping. Because she doesn't want to tell you, for example, that her mum was in polygyny and it went really bad and that really affected her growing up as a child. She doesn't want to tell you, for example, that her husband has brought up the idea of marrying again and this has really disturbed her and they've had massive fights. And the last thing she wants is for her husband to discover my content, teaching him how to run that game properly. She doesn't want to say all that. It's an insecurity she has. So instead, she will name call, insult, and so on. And I know this. That's why it's like, at this point, it's not even water off a duck's back. People ask me, how do you deal with the hate? I'm like, deal with what, bro? It doesn't even register on my radar. The only time I will engage is when I'm like trolling people. I do enjoy trolling people. I'm not gonna lie. I like trolling people in the comments or when they message me in my inbox. I do troll here and there. Aside from that, I can't be asked, bro. Because I know they're not being honest. They're being disingenuous. There are hidden motives that they're not revealing to you, that they're hiding. It's like, whatever, bro. I don't care. Let me tell you the story of Iran. Iran is a lady. She got married over a decade ago. Bismillah. Get your drinks ready. This is a very fascinating story. She got married over a decade ago to Hamza. Now, the thing here is that despite the fact that she was very happy with her choice, she was very happy that she chose Hamza as her husband. And Hamza indeed himself was very happy that he chose Iran. Iran had a secret that she didn't want to share. And that secret was she had been in an intimate relationship prior in haram, a sexual relationship. She had committed zina, fornication, sex outside of marriage. Nevertheless, as is the custom in our religion, she concealed her sin and she married Hamza anyway. And Hamza and Iran, alhamdulillah. Hamza himself, practicing most of his life, never even so much as looked at a woman, never mind having an intimate relationship with a woman outside of marriage. And he married Iran as a virgin. Tough. You already know where this is going. Sticky, techie. Why? Because Iran has a print in her mind of what a sexual experience should feel like. At a minimum, she expects Hamza to meet her at that level or exceed, to give her the same experience as whatever she experienced in her Jahiliyyah or exceed it. Unfortunately, Hamza was unable to meet Iran at the level of sexual satisfaction she was used to experiencing. Years went by. They fought, they argued. He ignored. He believed she was blowing it out of proportion. She wouldn't let on that the reason why it was such a big deal is because she had been accustomed and used to a particular level of sexual satisfaction before marrying him, before marrying Hamza. She didn't want to say that to hurt him because that could potentially destroy a marriage when you compare a man in that way. However, that was what was on her mind the whole time. Hamza is oblivious. He's like, whatever. I'm going to do my best. If that's not good enough for you, tough cheddars, woman. The years go by. They have children. 1 child, 2 child, 3 children, 4 children. The years are going by. And the wear and tear on the tires are starting to show. The tires are beginning to bold. You know when you drive your car for too many miles and the tires, the grip on the tires starts to go and it becomes like ice skates? That's what happens to a person when they go through a particular hardship for a long period of time. Initially, they're patient. Initially, they have sabr. But slowly but surely, especially if their iman, their faith is beginning to suffer, which can very easily happen if you're suffering from sexual dissatisfaction, by the way, and it's even grounds for divorce. That's how important it is. Because why? Because it can lead to what I'm about to share with you. And if this issue is not addressed, that wear and tear on the tires can make the tires go so bold until one day the tires explode. Middle of the motorway. You're driving 100 kilometers per hour, boom, explosion. One day, Iran runs a Facebook search. Who do you think she ran a search for? Take a wild guess. Her ex-lover from Jahiliyyah, the one who was able to sexually satisfy her. Bismillah. She sends him a friend request. No big deal. It's not a big thing. She scrolls his page. She sees that he's now married. Indeed, he has a family and children himself. He accepts her friend request. They start talking. One thing leads to the next. Next thing you know, Iran is booking a flight to Southern Europe to meet her ex-lover. Her intention at this point is not to have sex with him, or so she tells herself, because frankly, she's being just naive at a minimum, downright stupid at best. They meet in Southern Europe at a hotel lobby. And her ex-lover takes the initiative on the spur of the moment, books a room. They go upstairs to the room together. And next thing you know, they are making haram love to each other. Can't even call it love. Haram lust is what we're going to call it. She commits zina. Now, here's the real problem. After she had finished with this affair, or for that rendezvous at that time, she comes back over to the West where she lives. And she's conflicted. On the one hand, she hates herself. She hates herself for what she's done. She can't bear to look her children in the eye, and she can't bear to look her own husband in the eye. She can't bear to look Hamza in the eye. On the other hand, her ex-lover, the man she just met in Southern Europe and had committed fornication with, he didn't just sexually satisfy her. He had accumulated new skills over the years, and he enabled her to experience a level of satisfaction, intimate satisfaction, that she had never experienced in her life. Now Iran is stuck. And if you're wondering if this is a true story, the answer is yes. This is a true story. On the one hand, she doesn't want to get divorced. She doesn't want to be known as a divorcee. She doesn't want to be known as a divorcee. Shout out to you, Abdul Malik. I appreciate that, bro. On the other hand, she is unable to continue in this marriage without getting her itch scratched elsewhere. And at that moment in life, at that moment in her life, she reaches a fork in the road. And that fork in the road is this. Either I take this road here and I divorce my husband, I do the honorable thing, I let him go, I get my khul, and I move on with my life. And the truth of the matter is, probably she wouldn't even be able to get with the guy she committed zina with, because he was married himself. Or fork B, which is I continue this affair. I have my cake and I eat it because I have the good, solid, reliable beta provider at home. He works hard. Hamza's a hard worker. He makes a good living. They're not rich, but he's reliable, consistent, solid. You can fall back on him. You can count on Hamza. He's that guy. And so she decides to take that road, to have her cake and eat it. Now remember, this woman is a practicing Muslim woman, at least she was. I'm talking hijab and abaya. And her husband, practicing Muslim man, a man of the masjid, no less. A man of the masjid. And as Ismail is relating this story to me, because it's Ismail who's relating this story to me, and he continues that one day her husband Hamza found out that she was communicating backwards and forwards with this guy on Facebook, and he lost it. He flipped. Now, he didn't find out about the zina. He didn't know about that. But he found out that they were talking. And for him, this was like, this was grounds for divorce on its own. Any man can relate to this feeling. You find out that your wife is talking to her ex-lover. You're going to lose your mind. You're going to lose your marbles, my friend. And it's too much. It's too much. It's too much to take in. What do you think Iram does? She calls up her ex-lover and she says to him, my husband is about to divorce me. He's just found out about you. If he divorces me, will you marry me? Allah. If he divorces me, will you marry me? Straight facts, my bro. Iran is for the streets. And it's funny that her name is Iran as well, because Iran is a cursed city in the Quran. إرم ذات العماد التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد. It's a cursed city in the Quran. I don't even know why people choose that name for their daughters, bruv. You're setting her up for failure in the first place. Big man thing. With a name like that. Another one is Rana. Rana. Kalla bal. Rana ala qulubihim. A black dot on their heart. Why would you call your son that, bruv, or your daughter? Mad confused, bruv. What do you think he says, the ex-lover? Yes, my darling, my dear. If you leave your husband, I will leave my wife and my children. And we will live together forever, happily. No, what he says to her is, bounce, mate. I got what I needed. I'm done with you. Next. That's exactly what he said to her. So what does Iran do? Iran begs and pleads and gets on her knees and begs and pleads some more and begs and pleads more still for her husband to keep her. I promise I will never do this again. I will never entertain conversation with another man again. Remember, he thinks it's just conversation. Hamza thinks it's just conversation when it's not. It was more than that. But he thinks it's just conversation. So like the video if you're enjoying the story so far. Sub the channel if you want to hear more. Bismillah. So Iram, she settles back into routine. She says to herself she's never going to take that risk again. She knows that she has a good man. She knows that Hamza is a solid husband, that he's a good Muslim, that he's solid, he's reliable, he's God-fearing. She knows all of this. She knows he's hard to replace. It's the very reason she was so reluctant to let him go in the first place, because she knows he's a dime. He is a dime. He's gonna be hard to replace. But there's only one small complication here. And that complication is what we would call a complication of the kus. Astaghfirullah. Complication of her private part. It's still itchy. It still needs scratching. The months go by. 1 month goes by. 2 months go by. 3 months go by. 4 months go by. 1 year goes by and she hasn't entertained any conversation with any other man. But now her sexual frustration is starting to reach a climax. She is starting to resent Hamza, her husband. There is a deep level of contempt for him, hatred that she has for him. Because for whatever reason, he is unable to meet her intimate needs in the same way that her ex-lover did. Times get hard, finances get tight, and Iran decides that she needs to go to work. And her husband Hamza agrees. You should go to work so that we can double up on our income and hopefully start putting some money away for the kids, maybe buy a property or two, something. Because despite the fact that Hamza is extremely reliable, inflation, rent goes up, food's expensive, life, it is what it is. When you're earning an average wage, it is what it is. Iram goes to work. And she's in-house, working in offices. One day, Iram meets Musab. She meets Musab. And she could smell the virility on this man. She could smell the testosterone flowing through his veins. She knew this man, she could smell it. It was carnal, almost animal-like, instinctual. She knew this man, despite the fact that he too was Muslim, despite the fact that he too was married, she has a thing for married Muslim men, this woman. Kind of weird, bruv. But anyways, let's not digress. Despite all of those facts, Musab must be the man. And she starts tempting fate. Their first physical interaction was just a scraping of the hands, just a touch of the hands like this. By accident, as she was handing him his coffee at work. Here you go, Musab. There you go. It wasn't an accident. It was fully intentional. But worse than that, Musab reciprocated. Despite being Muslim, despite being married, he couldn't help himself. A woman is a fitna, boy. She is a fitna. She is a trial. He reciprocated. They locked eyes. And something in the lock of their eyes communicated like Bluetooth. I want to F you, was what was said, whilst it wasn't said, all at the exact same time. The Bluetooth connection in the eyeballs said it all. Days pass, weeks pass. Musab and Iram are starting to talk more and more. They're starting to go out of their way in the workplace to talk about meaningless things with each other. Harmless jokes, they tell themselves, not a big deal. She even goes on holiday. She goes on holiday. And while she's on holiday with her family, she buys Musab from work a gift to give back to him when she gets back to her home country. Bismillah. I need to drink like this to prompt you guys. That's the whole point of this cup. Like, I'm low-key drinking, but like, yeah, subscribe the thing, you get me? When she comes back home, she gives Mus'ab his gift. Once again, their hands stroke past each other. Now it's too much for Mus'ab. He can't take it anymore. And Mus'ab, because he's got that virility, he's not shy. He decides to initiate. But to initiate what, you may ask? To initiate haram. To initiate a prolonged, multi-month long period of hot, sweaty zina. May Allah save us. There, but for the grace of God, go I. May Allah save us from being tested with this. As you are hearing this story, and it is a true story, as you are hearing this story, don't moralize, don't hate and be how. Say Alhamdulillah, Allah didn't test me with this. Alhamdulillah, Allah didn't test me. And may He not test you with it either. Because it's the ones who mock and strut with their holier than thou selves, they are the ones who are tested with the exact same affliction, and they fail even more abysmally than the one that they mocked. There, but for the grace of God, go I. There, but for the grace of Allah, go I. That could have been me. It would have been me, were it not for the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon me, who saved me from that, not because of me or my righteousness or my iman or my good deeds. No, because He saved you. He saved me. Alhamdulillah, may Allah save us. One day, Ismail, now remember, Ismail is the one who's told me this entire story. He finds out about the affair between Iran and Mus'ab. How he found out, he would not tell me. But he found out. And he is a relative of Iran. And he decides to confront her immediately after giving it some thought. He didn't know how best to address this sticky situation because, number one, he is friends with Iran's husband Hamza. And number two, he didn't know what to do. On the one hand, if she's moving mad like this, she needs to be checked. On the other hand, there's the bro code thing. I need to tell the bros, like bro code. But then on the other hand, there is the fact that you can't reveal someone's sin. If Allah has concealed it, you can't reveal it. It's super techie and sticky. And so Ismail, he seeks religious advice. And indeed, every one of the shuyukh that he asks respond with the same response. This is techie. This is sticky. This is messy. But the conclusion is, subhanallah, if Hamza doesn't know or find out of his own accord, you can't tell him. And this is as Ismail related the story to me. You can't tell him. How am I supposed to look at this man? He said. How am I supposed to look at this man in his eyes? When I see him in the masjid, how can I look at him when I know what his wife is doing? How can I look at him? The funny thing is, Hamza doesn't actually like Ismail anymore. And when Ismail does a bit of digging, he realizes that the reason why Hamza doesn't like Ismail is because Ismail is talking about this relationship stuff with other brothers in the coffee shop. And he's talking about this stuff he sees online, this fresh and fit stuff, this Rolo stuff, this Daniel Haqiqachu stuff, this brother Gabriel Romani stuff. He's starting to learn things. And he's talking about it in the coffee shop. And now remember, he's a relative of Iran, and Iran gets wind of this, and she is scared. She is scared that if her husband Hamza finds out about this type of content on the internet, indeed this type of content that I produce myself, Mahdi Tidjani, that he will wisen up to her tricks and smell a rat, and he may well figure her out for himself. So what does she do? She begins a smear campaign that Ismail, he's a deviant, that Ismail, he's a jahil, that Ismail, he's a woman hater, that Ismail, he's a misogynist, that Ismail is not to be trusted. And as most simple men do, he buys into his wife's sincere advice, and he believes her without ever once having a conversation with Ismail and asking him for himself, not even once. And Ismail, when he's telling me this, like, you can see the pain, you can feel that, pain. Mission accomplished, she thinks to herself. She says to herself, he's never gonna come across this type of content. He's never gonna wisen up. Ismail decides to take affairs into his own hands. He's had enough. He's had enough of this BS that he knows about, and he's losing sleep over between Iran and Mus'ab. And their repulsive, disgusting relationship, quote unquote. And he confronts her. And he confronts her directly. And he puts her under a ton of brick pressure. And she folds and capitulates immediately. It was a mistake. I never meant to. Of course you never meant to. You just slipped and fell onto his pogo stick many times. MashaAllah. You didn't mean to. Somehow you were walking. There's a saying in Arabic, in not Arabic, it's Algerian joke, like dead jokes. Like, قال لك واحد بزق وزلق طاح نط وراح. It's so dumb, it's funny. The joke goes, someone, he came, he spat. زلق, he slipped on his spit. طاح, and he fell over. نط, he got up. وراح, and he walked on. He carried on walking. So dead, bruv. Algeria's got enough of these dead jokes that are literally meaningless, but because they're so empty and meaningless, they are hilarious. واحد على بالك بزق وزلق طاح نط and the guy's like, yeah, well, what happened? وراح. Oh, is that it? So what happened, Iran? بزقتي زلقتي طحتي نطتي and you left? Is that what happened? It was not an accident, my dear. Own it for what it is. Own it. Say it with your chest. And you know what? If you were in that situation, it's okay. You have to leave. I know it's hard. You're stuck between two hard choices, though. One of those hard choices is the hard choice of divorce. I get it. That's hard. But do you know what the other hard choice is? Jahannam, hellfire. Pick your hard, bruv. Pick your hard. Excuse the pun, by the way. You clearly picked your hard. I mean, must have been very hard because you went back for seconds and thirds and fourths and fifths and God knows how many. Ismail wouldn't tell me. Rock solid, I'm assuming. Iran, however, is starting to develop a deep hatred for herself, to the point where some nights she wakes up in the middle of her sleep and she looks at Hamza, her husband, and she wants to scream everything that she's done. She wants to snitch on herself. You might think this is madness. What are you talking about? Understand, women love to tell on themselves, and women can't stand not talking about their anything for that matter, but especially when they've done something wrong, because they want social validation from those they love and are friends with, whether it's husband or female friends. They want to be told, it's okay, Habibti. You must have slipped on some spit and landed on a pogo stick. It's okay. And the spit that you slipped on, you must have slipped many times on this spit. And somehow you found yourself going back to the same area where the spit was, this spit that never seems to lose its lubricancy. And you slipped on the spit and landed on the pogo stick many times. It's okay. That's what she wants to be told. You're not a bad person. It's okay. And you know what? At this point, I'm not even saying you're a bad person, but you've done bad things. We're all sinners. We're all sinners. I'm not saying you're a bad person, but you've done bad things. But what she wants to be told is, it's okay. And it's not. Fast forward. And now Iran is telling her friends what she's done. She tells one friend. She tells another friend. She tells a third friend. She tells a fourth woman who's not even her friend, but is a friend of a friend. And at this point, her close circle of friends are looking at her like, what the French falafel is wrong with you? Why are you snitching on yourself? And the only answer that we can give is that she's lost so much of her hayat, of her shyness, that now the heart has become blackened with this sin. كَلَّا بَلْ رَانَ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ that I just mentioned. The black dot that afflicts the heart every time you commit a sin. مَا كَانُوا يَكْسِبُونَ, from what they did. So she doesn't feel it in the way that she first felt it. It doesn't bother her in the way that it used to bother her. She doesn't care as much as she used to care. It's not a big deal, she says to herself. May Allah save us. Just remember that as you're hearing this story. May Allah save us. And like DMG says, to think that this could all have been avoided if Brother Hamza took 20 minutes a day extra to improve his intimacy game. Salute to you, sir. Salute to you. You're absolutely right. And therein is a lesson that DMG is teaching us here, actually. And that is, if you ignore or overlook the importance of this discussion for too long, God forbid, may Allah save us, your missus might accidentally slip on some spit and land on someone else's pogo stick, especially if she works in a mixed environment. Iran is now snitching on herself to women in her own community, and this is becoming a massive liability, because the moment one of her friends, quote unquote, turn on her or feel some type of way one day, they may well snitch on her themselves. And indeed, she does have fallouts with some of these friends. And now she's scrambling because they've got massive leverage on her. It's not just words in conversation that they have heard. She has incriminated herself on text messages. There is text evidence. There is voice message evidence. There are photos. photos of her in Mus'ab's arm. Yeah, that's right. Techie. Hamza's still unaware. Hamza still knows nothing. Hamza still is living in blissful ignorance. And frankly, Hamza should know better because there are warning signs. And you know what Iram says to one of her friends? She says to her friend with an almost satisfied look on her face, she says, and I need you to remember, to you who's watching right now, that this is a true story. This happened. She says to her friend, before I leave Hamza, I make sure to F him real good. I give him a real good F because I know I'm going to be away for a few days. So I sweeten him up through his private part. Yeah. But you know what? Hamza's the donor as well, because he agrees and allows Iram to travel for multiple days at a time outside of the country, leaving her children at home with him, the good, solid, reliable, consistent beta provider. Donor. And this is why this type of content on this side of the internet is so crucial. And this is why Iran went to great lengths to hide it from him, to spread a smear campaign about Ismail, who was starting to talk about this stuff in the coffee shops. One day, one of Iran's liabilities, one of her friends, capitulates. She can't take it anymore. She can't stand seeing Hamza as the neighborhood clown. She even said it. He is the neighborhood clown. He is a clown. The poor man, he's out there slogging his guts out for you, and you're making him look like a clown, like an idiot. Donkey. And so she tells Hamza everything. What do you think was Hamza's response? What do you think was Hamza's response? Do you think Hamza woke up? He finally realized his mistakes. He finally realized that his woman has been up to no good this whole time. How do you think Hamza responded? Hamza responded by finding reasons not to believe this woman despite being shown evidence. Hamza is so pussy whipped that he invented excuses to reject this information. Much to Iram's satisfaction. Because to this day, Iram and Hamza are still together. Iram still travels abroad on her own without her children or her husband. And Hamza, he's still doing what a good beta provider should do. Looks after the kids when his wife's away, doing God knows what. Make sure the bills are paid. And every now and again, I'm sure she implements her strategy of sweetening him up through his member, his private part, before she goes on one of her dick excursions. Cocktails. I bet they drink many cocktails. I'm sure they do. Why do you talk about this stuff so much, Mahdi? Why are you so obsessed? This is one of many reasons why I talk about this. You think this story that I just told you over the past half an hour, you think this is strange, this is weird, this is uncommon? You will be shocked, my friend. Shocked about the stuff that goes on. Stuff that I dare not repeat with my lips. Stuff that I am exposed to on a more intimate level because these women are in my inbox asking me for advice. Not this particular story, granted, but many of them. If you watched yesterday's video, the title of which was, I think my wife is going to leave me. That was a story of Noreen and Aman. Noreen, who married Aman, she was just 13 at the time. Aman was 31. She was from back home. She was not from this country. Never had so much as a mobile phone. Not exposed to this way of life. And yet, despite the obvious, I understand the age discrepancy is illegal, blah, blah, blah. When she hit 18 and she came over and she realized that she was not satisfied with Aman, she wasn't particularly satisfied with him anymore. She too, to fast forward a long story, and you can watch it in that video, she too بزق وزلق وطاح وناض وراح. Her as well. And then you wonder, so when you see the photo on this thumbnail, trust and believe I am not flexing. This is not a flex. I just want you to know that this is doable. It is doable, and women can be happy doing it as well. That is, be a woman sharing her husband with other women. Women sharing their husband. Singular. If you know how to play the game right. This is not for the rookie. This is not for the novice. This is not amateur level stuff. This is high level stuff. This is high level game. This is high level understanding of power dynamics, of passion traps, of female psychology. Let me tell you a story. I've been in polygyny. Well, I had a break for a couple of years, but I first got into polygyny at 25. Remember, I got married at 16, okay? And then I took a second wife at 25. I took a third wife at 27. When I took a second wife, this is when things got interesting in my life. And to give you one story, I had the wives were living in separate households. I had spent Monday to Thursday, I believe it was, or Tuesday to Friday with the second wife. It was time for me to leave. We had a great week. We went out, we had a nice meal during the week. Nothing to report. Nothing of note to report in terms of something going wrong or something sour or whatever. No, it was a good week. We had a great week. Went to the cinema, watched the movie. Nice week. No arguments. Nothing. I get into my car and I leave that day. And then I come back to the first wife. Completely different city. Suddenly, I get a text from the second wife, whom I have just had a brilliant week with. Remember that. And she says to me, I can't do this anymore. I said, what? You can't do that. You can't do what anymore? She says, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to be married to you anymore. Allah, me going into my problem solving mode immediately, I wanted to know what was the problem. I wanted to get to the bottom of the issue. Problem solvers we are as men, right? So what do I go and do? I go and call her, obviously. Let's talk about it. What's going on? What has happened? What's going on? Etc. Remember, I'm 25 years old. I call once. She doesn't answer. I call twice. She doesn't answer. Now I'm starting to get stressed. This woman, who I've just had a fantastic week with, has just told me she wants to get a divorce. And I don't know why. That's the key. I don't know why. I don't have closure. I call a fourth time. I call a fifth time. Now I've spent 20 minutes hammering this woman's phone. Now she's canceling my calls. She's not even answering them. She's actually hanging them up as I call her. Now I am getting into, and I remember I was parked outside the masjid, just prayed. I was parked outside the masjid, just received this text, calling her, calling her, calling her, no response, no response, no response. Then I get one measly text message. It's done. Well played, well played. When I look back on it with hindsight, I'm like, well played. What do I continue to do? I continue to call and call and call. She doesn't answer. That entire weekend, the real estate in my mind is spent thinking about what went wrong with the other woman. Her plan all along. Her plan all along. Sabotage his relationship or his few days he has with the other wife by any means necessary. You know why? Because when I did eventually go back on the Monday, after having been stressed out my head the whole weekend, after having been unable to connect, to communicate, to enjoy the time with this wife here, after having in fact had arguments with this wife here because she was so upset, and rightfully so, that my mind was so preoccupied with the other woman. Think about it from her perspective. She hasn't seen me all week. She's looking forward to seeing me. When she sees me, she receives a stressed out mess of a husband who is just thinking about another woman. Drama. When I go back on the Monday to the second wife's house, the one who's caused all of this kerfuffle in the first place, guess what? Everything's fine. She's changed her mind. And she crucially doesn't provide a reason as to why she said all that in the first place. But frankly speaking, I didn't care. I was just relieved that we were back on track. Up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down the roller coaster of emotions go. And in this way, wicked women ensure that they monopolize the real estate in your mind. And it's your fault for falling for it. It was my fault for falling for it. Why? How? Because I negatively reinforced bad behavior. Was it positively? Yeah. I positively reinforced bad behavior. What was that bad behavior? The bad behavior was we just had a great week, and then she throws this curveball out of left field. And that curveball is, we're done. I can't do this anymore. I rewarded her with the one thing she wanted the most: attention. My bad. I didn't know, man. I didn't know the game. Honest mistake. I just wanted to fix things. Who wouldn't? Which man wouldn't want to just fix things? You know, we're fixers. That's what we do. She didn't want anything fixed because nothing was broken. There was nothing to fix. She just wanted to monopolize attention. This is one of many tricks that women use to monopolize your attention. Create a maelstrom. Let me use simpler words. Create a tornado of chaos so that she can monopolize the space in your mind. And this is why I say, any woman that comes into your life, at a minimum, she must not take away value from you. If she's not going to add value, then she must not take away value. How does a woman take away value? These games, up, down, up and down, and up and down. Now, truth be told, there are some men whom the only way to keep their attention is to play these games with them. And women have learnt this over the years, particularly men of power who get bored quickly because they have access to all women. There is no challenge. And women who are able to appeal to his challenge instinct, to his instincts of wanting to conquer, they are the ones who capture his attention. And they have learned that the best way to do this is to play games. Up and down and up and down and up and down. Me, I like my women boring. I like my women boring, bruv. That's how I like my women. You know why? Because boring is peaceful. They are peaceful. And boring is not even a good word. They are peaceful. You know why, bruv? Because I've got more important things to worry about. I hardly speak to any of my wives during the day. Hardly. Maybe it's, can you put some food on or something? Hardly, Annie. Hardly. I hardly see them, for that matter. I hardly see them. I'm out first thing in the morning and I'm back late at night. Hardly see them. So, and I'm working the whole time. Well, I'm training in between sometimes as well. So training and working. I don't want to be thinking about women. I don't want to be thinking about you. When I see you, we'll enjoy our time together. Aside from that, you don't own one brain cell in my mind. Nothing. With the exception of an emergency or whatever, simple things, you know. Aside from that, no, bruv. No. You're not taking precious bandwidth from my brain. I only have limited bandwidth. 6 gigabytes. If you're taking 5 gigabytes with your garbage, Masalama, you need to go. I'm sorry. You're not that important. Lesson number 1 is do not reward bad behavior. Do not reward bad behavior. I rewarded bad behavior with attention. She wanted attention. More than that, she wanted attention to be taken away from the other woman. This is where now you have to learn new skills when you're dealing with multiple women at the same time. When you're dealing with the hearts of multiple women, you've got to learn new skills. It's different to just dealing with one woman. One of those is that the women will try to take your attention away from the other women. Your job is to manage that. You've got to learn how to manage that ish. It's not easy. It's work. You get used to it, but it's work. So do not reward bad behavior. Number 2, understand the power seesaw. One of the laws of the 48 laws of power is act like a king to be treated like one. In any interaction you have with your woman or women, you must ask yourself the following question. And that question is this how a king would conduct himself? Is this how a king would conduct himself? If the answer is yes, carry on. Carry on, good sir. But whatever interaction you have with your women, you must ask yourself, especially when they start to misbehave. Especially when they start to misbehave. one of my wives the other day, she did this. She got upset about something and she gave me the cold shoulder. What do you think I did? Because by giving me the cold shoulder, the immediate knee-jerk reaction is to, what's going on? Why are you like this? And then she will say, oh, no, I don't want to talk about it. No, like children. Women can be like children sometimes. She gave me the cold shoulder. What do you think I did? I ignored her ass like she didn't exist. What do you think happened 10 minutes later? She came, put her head in my chest, give me a hug. It's okay, Habibti. Dad, Habibti, it's okay. I know. I understand. It's okay. You don't need to say, I know. They even need to speak sometimes. Like, why? Because I flipped the dynamic back on her. She was hoping to get a response out of me with the cold shoulder. I just gave her a cold shoulder back and ignored her. One of the worst things you can do to a woman, by the way, is ignore them. They hate it. They hate it. They can't stand it. Just ignore her. No need for a fight or an argument or, why are you so moody? You're so emotional. Nah, just ignore her, bruv. She'll come back on her own speed. With a hug and a kiss and maybe a cup of coffee. Like the video. Subscribe the channel. Bismillah. Act like a king to be treated like one. One of my wives, she made an interesting statement to me once. She said to me, you have an aura whereby you make people want to do things for you. I found that very interesting. And of course, she was referring to herself. And I had to really go away and think about that. I was like, because it's not conscious. The game is so ingrained in my head that it's all happening subconsciously now. I had to go away and break that down, because whenever I hear comments like this, I think to myself immediately, how can I break this down into a framework that I can offer the people that I speak to online, you that I'm speaking to right now, you, bro? How can I break this down into a step-by-step framework so that you can use it? Simple as that. And the reason why is, when I ask for something to be done, I don't ask like it's a question. I ask like I expect it to be done. With an authoritative, firm, gentle but firm tone. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you without having to say it. It's an energy that you transmute. That expectation, act like a king to be treated like one. That expectation that you should listen, that you should do what I've just asked you to. It infects the other party. She becomes infected by that. Now, this act has to be, because remember, the name of the law is act like a king to be treated like one. It has to be rooted in reality. Listen, bro, if you're not about that life, okay, and you don't need to be rich to do this, but you need to be a man who's on his purpose. He's clearly on the warpath. You are clearly on the warpath. You are clearly going somewhere. That energy is infectious. But if you're a bum and you're sitting at home and you don't want to work and you just want to just whatever, you've got addictions, maybe gambling, maybe boredom, maybe I don't know what. I'm sorry, bro. Act like a king to be treated like one. No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to work for you. You need to be about that life. You are clearly on the warpath. You are on the warpath. It's very, very infectious. It's very infectious. And if you really want to deep dive, see, look here, this is the problem. I get a lot of emails from people. Oh, brother, I need to book a consultation with you. I send them the invoice. Oh, brother, it's expensive. Brother, let me explain something to you. You want to know what's expensive? Divorce is expensive. Do you want to know what's expensive? Marrying a toxic woman is expensive. Do you want to know what's expensive? Losing your children is expensive. Do you know how much the average man who's lost access to his children pays to have access to his kids again? On average, £15,000. £15,000. All of that could have been avoided with a simple consultation with Mahdi. And if you want a consultation with me, you are going to pay me. You're not going to pay me 15 grand, but you're going to pay me well. Or don't message me. Pick your poison. Either you will pay for a consultation or you will pay with a nightmare marriage, a nightmare relationship. But one way or another, you, sir, will pay. You can email me, links are in the description if you want to book a consultation. For now, however, I'm going to have a look at these comments because what I did today in this opening monologue, hour and 15 minutes, jeez, 500 comments. I switched off. I didn't want to see the comments because I had a lot to get through today. I didn't want to actually see the comments so that I could not be distracted because this is an important discussion. All right, the link is in the stream. If you want to call me, hit that link in the stream. I'm going to put it in here as well. Put this thing here so I can pin it because I can pin it here. You get me? All right. Pin message. All right. And on the poll as well, 700 votes, bruv. Sheesh, we had a lot of people in here. So 30% of you think this photo is fake. Very interesting. 70% of you don't think it's fake. You know, this is an interesting point as well. I was having a conversation with someone and he mentioned that he heard Andrew Tate is making $20 million a month from Hustlers University. And his exact words were, what do I look like? I was born yesterday. Do I look stupid? Do I look like I was born yesterday? Of course he's not making that money. It's impossible. I said, okay, it's impossible. I said, let's do the math here. Andrew Tate had over 10 billion views across all platforms in 2022. 200,000 of those 10 billion views became customers of Hustlers University. What's 200,000 as a percentage of 10 billion? I did the math earlier. It's 0.0002%. All he needed to do was convert on 0.0002% of those views, of those eyeballs, which equates to 200,000 students in Hustlers University. 200,000 times by $50 is 20 million a month. Voila. Voila et voici. People find it hard to believe something they themselves have not experienced. That's what they find hard to believe. So when you see the thumbnail, you look at that and you think, nah, he's capping. If that's your immediate knee-jerk response, it's only because you have not experienced it. That's all. It's not special. Lana, assalamu alaikum. Lana, you need to unmute yourself. Can't unmute your guest because they chose to mute themselves. Lana, you are muted. I cannot bring you on until you unmute your mic. So let's bring on Abdullah. Trini Abdullah, what's going on? Nah. Bro, you looking like you're moving mad. Nah, you looking like you're moving mad, akhi. I can't bring on guys that don't start talking because one time I had someone do that and they flip in. What do you call it? All right, Lana's unmuted her mic. Salaam alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
What's going on, sister? You having technical issues there, yeah?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
First of all, how old are you?
I'm 15.
What the French toast? Get off this stream. 15? Bruv, man ain't trying to catch no case. Big man thing. What are you talking about? 15. And no minors calling in, please, yeah? Thank you very much. Rude boy. No disrespect to you, Lana, but I'm sorry. 15, you're younger than my kids, bruv. You're literally younger than my kids. Anna Fazaka says, Mahdi, may I ask respectfully, how old are your wives and yourself? I will answer respectfully. None your business. Adnami, salam alaikum.
Oh. Wa alaikum salam.
What's going on, bro? You sound like you're calling me from space.
Space. Thanks, man. Yeah, I just want to say I really enjoy the fucking live stream. Oh, sorry. The live stream. I swear so much. It just got to me. I really enjoy the live streams, man. And honest to God, like I have one question. Like, do you write scripts before starting? Because like,
Everyone asks me this. Nah, bro, I'm completely
yeah,
ad lib. I'm ad lib.
ad lib. Wow.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to learn your
Let me
skills,
tell.
man. Like,
Let me be honest with you though. For today's one, you can see I have notes here. Can you see that page of notes? So I have a framework of notes. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And I use that framework of notes, and I just look back at it here and there because I knew it was going to be a long one. But aside from that, nah, I don't use nothing, bro. Nothing at all. Just straight ad lib. Why do you ask?
Because like I've been trying to. I was a content creator for when I was like 14, 13, something like that. And
Mm.
you know how it is when you first start. It's kind of cringe.
Yeah, your mic is sick, bro. How do you get your mic so loud like that?
So loud. It has a slider right here. I just pull it up, but not too much.
Okay, okay.
That's it.
Anyway,
Yeah.
what do you want to ask on the topic of the stream, my man?
Yeah. Is Mahdi Tidjani a bad influence?
Yes. Am I
Well,
about it? So first of all, how long have you been watching my stuff for?
I would say maybe like 2 weeks now.
No way. How did you
Yeah,
come
two
across
weeks.
my stuff?
I'm not gonna lie to you. It just got recommended to me like that. I think just
Oh.
the algorithm. So I watched. I used to watch at least Muhammad. What's his name? Muhammad Hijab and all Ali Dawa.
Mm.
Automatically get recommended all the other stuff. And also I watch a lot of those red pill videos, and I think you share some of the same ideologies, so maybe that has to do something with that.
Well, I guess we share
But
some of
yeah,
the same sentiments, yeah. But go on.
yeah.
So from the content you have consumed so far, net good or net bad, and why?
That's good, or that's you're using big words, brother. Can't.
Meaning overall good or overall bad?
Yeah. I would say the content itself, it's overall pretty good. Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, Overall pretty good. The opinions, I agree with like I would say 75% of them. Like there's still a lot
Well, agreeing with me
something.
is boring. What do you disagree with? Let's get to that.
Oh, I disagree with. Okay, hold on.
75% is a lot. And listen, yeah, we got 350 of you guys in here watching and 134 likes. That's mad disrespect. So what I'm gonna do is,
Hello,
yeah,
YouTube.
every time you guys like the video, I want you to put a comment in the chat, and I'm gonna pull up your thing on the screen, bro. Go on. What do you disagree with me, Adnami? What do you disagree with?
I think it's mostly. I don't know if it's because
Do you know what
I'm
I've
like,
noticed? Do you know what I've noticed?
bro.
I've
Let me finish first. Let me finish
Hold
first.
on, rude boy. Hold on, bro. This is my
Hold
channel,
on.
bro. What do you mean, hold on, bro? Behave
Oh,
yourself.
at least let me finish, bro.
I'm gonna let you finish. Don't worry. But you know what I've noticed? I've
What?
noticed that when people, because I'm a very polarizing character,
Mm.
when people first say that they don't, they first they preface their statement with, "I don't agree with everything," and I think they do that because they're worried about being associated with me in a negative sense. But then I ask them, "All right, bro. So what do you disagree with?" And they go like, not too sure." So go on, bro. Hit me. What do you disagree with?
Well, I no, like to be fair, I don't mind being associated with you. If anything, that would actually give me a lot of clout.
Shout
So
to Nasser. Salam
I don't
alaikum,
mind
Nasser.
that actually. But
Hold on,
yeah, I
hold on.
think,
Shout out to Nasser. Salam alaikum, Akhi Nasser. Yeah, go on. I'm waiting to hear it, rude boy. What do you
bro,
disagree
it's
with?
just, no, it's just like the multiple wives thing. That's like the only thing I disagree with. I think like
Okay, let's go there. Let's
now
go
that I
there.
think about it, I think I agree with like 95% of what you say. But it's just like the multiple wives thing. That's the thing I don't agree with.
Okay, hit me. So what do you find problematic or troubling about the multiple wives thing?
Uh, I think honest to God, it's just too much. Like, how am I as a man supposed to first of all focus on my work and also focus on four other women that are constantly annoying me with their shit?
How many
Oh,
years you been married for?
my bad.
How many years have you been married for?
0.
Okay, so that's why you feel like that. And I would say
Yeah.
to someone like yourself that forget about multiple wives. Forget it.
Mm.
Right now, you need to get one. Secure one, bro. Just secure one.
Secure the first one, the others will
Secure
come
the first one,
eventually.
and don't worry about multiple ones. So it's
Mm.
horses for courses. You understand? I've been married for
Yeah.
17 years, bro, consecutively 17 years. A lot of people don't know that. I think, oh, this guy is single. No, bruv. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Allah has blessed me, and it's from Allah, to have been married to at least one woman for 17 years. So I'm at a different stage when it comes to experience and dealing with women. For you, just start with the first. When do you want to get married?
Well, it's kind of funny actually because I'm 16 right now. I'm gonna turn 17 in 3 months, and that's like the same age you were married. So that's kind of
You just
kinda
made the
fun.
cut, bro. For 16 is basically 15 at this point. What's the difference between you and Lana?
Hey, Lana. I mean, if you want to talk, hey, don't show.
Hey, behave yourself. Behave yourself. I'm gonna bring
Hey.
on the next caller. Listen, I was just about to bring on. Okay. Trini Abdullah. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, brother. Walaikum salam.
Brother, what's going on? You look like you're having something tasty there. What are you eating?
Nah, this is snack after Juma. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what you got for me, bro? Juma,
Yeah,
what time zone you on?
I'm in America. We doing like 3 hours ago.
Oh, okay. America, yeah. What are you, Pacific, PST, Pacific Standard Time?
Yeah. Right,
Got you. Yeah, what you got for me, my man?
Hey, man, I just want to say, man, keep on doing what you're doing, man. I agree
Appreciate you, bro.
with basically everything you're saying. You know what I mean? Because you have the credentials. That's the thing. You have the credentials to back up what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Before Andrew Tate became Muslim, I considered you like, you know what I mean, the Muslim Andrew Tate. You know what I mean, what you're bringing is very beneficial.
Bro, I'm just Mahdi, bro. You know, I mean, Tate's Tate, and Tate's on a whole nother level now that he's Muslim as well. I'm just Mahdi. But I appreciate you, Akhi Abdullah. Jazakallah khair, my man. I'm gonna bring the next caller. Take care, Habibi. Assalamu alaikum. Abdurrahman, assalamu alaikum. Abu Abdurrahman.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. How are you doing?
Nah, I ain't no sheikh, bro. I'm a milkshake. Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How you doing, Akhi?
Alhamdulillah, how are you?
Alhamdulillah. What you got to add to the discussion, Akhi?
Akhi, I think on the whole, I think it's very valuable. And
Okay.
there's some shocking examples that are happening out there that a lot of men don't know. Alhamdulillah,
Are you Moroccan, by the way?
Subhanallah, how can you tell?
I can hear it in your voice, bro. I can hear the darija.
Darija. But yeah, subhanallah, I think a lot of masculine men are oblivious to the complete other side of what's actually going on. So I think it's important. What I wanted to ask you is, how do you deal with balancing out, have you crossed the line, or especially in terms, because mashallah, you seem like a sincere brother, and I'm sure you've definitely helped a lot of brothers out there, no doubt. But how do you sort of play that fine line?
That's an excellent question, bro, and it's an important question as well. And the truth of the matter is, if you're going to put yourself out online like this, you are going to make mistakes. It's just a part of the process. So I don't really try to worry about that too much, because if I do, you start to get into your own head. It stunts your creativity, and then you're going to become vanilla. Once you become vanilla, you might as well be non-existent. Your character doesn't come out, your own. So you just need to accept that you are going to make mistakes. And if you make mistakes, khalas, just own it. You made a mistake. It is what it is, and then move on. It's the price. It is what it is. There's no avoiding it. Are you with me?
Yeah, of course.
Now, of course, having shura that you can seek advice from knowledgeable brothers, that all of that helps to mitigate your mistakes. But you're going to make mistakes, akhi. Is what it is.
So, what would you say to the people that say, obviously, I'm sure your ibadat and stuff like that, you keep it between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what would you say to those that say you focus too much on one aspect of life or of the deen, for example, or of a man's day to day? Because
are you talking about my content?
Yeah.
Because everyone's got to specialize in something, bro. You got someone who specializes in crypto. You got someone who specializes in fixing bikes. You got someone who specializes in television or media or whatever. I don't know, marketing, advertising. Everyone specializes. You've got to specialize in something. Otherwise, you're a jack of all trades, master of none. This is what I specialize in. And when people tell me, "Oh, you focus," I addressed this earlier in the stream. Actually, you spend too much time talking about women. You're obsessed with women. You talk too much about them. And there's more important things in life than talking about women. I say to them, I completely agree. You are absolutely right. There are more important things in life than worrying about women. That's why I create this content, so that the brothers can do more important things with their lives than worrying about the psycho games their women are playing with them. Because if you consume enough of this content, then you'll be equipped with enough information to be able to handle your wife or wives in the correct way and move on with your life, bruv. That's the whole point of this. You with
It's
me?
very true. It's very true. I've got two more questions,
Mm.
or one's a statement, one's a question. I think, or a suggestion rather. The example that you gave with yourself between you and your wife. I think if we could get more of that, I think that would be very valuable.
Which
you
one?
know.
Which example?
The cold shoulder silent treatment.
Oh, yeah. No, this.
So if you could give us more in the field, examples, I think it would be valuable content.
I will, inshallah ta'ala. The content is taking a new turn, a new direction on my channel, inshallah ta'ala, and you experienced a little bit of that with yesterday's video. The truth of the matter is there's a lot of outrage porn on this side of the internet. Outrage porn is reacting to this terrible thing, and the world is so bad, and look what this woman did. And whilst those things are important to talk about, if you consume too much of it, you can start to literally like hate women or something. And this is just not the case. And being with a woman in marriage is just a beautiful thing, akhi. When you have a good relationship with your wife, a good God-fearing woman, she respects you and she loves you. Akhi, Allah talks about it in the Quran, man. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُمْ مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. And from you understand, I want to translate the ayah for those who don't speak Arabic. And from his signs is that he is created from you wives, so that you may find peace inside her. Peace, akhi. And I want men to experience that peace, because when you have peace with a woman, you can focus on more important things. As my detractors like to tell me, I agree. We need to focus on more important things. So let's get this handled so we can do that. Are you with me?
Well, mashallah, of course, I'm with you all the way. And then something that's slightly off point, more on a financial aspect. With everything that's happened recently, with a lot of different Muslim days or Muslim personalities online pushing different business angles, and Tate with his Hustlers University, etc. Just interested to get your perspective in terms of what do you see as a good vehicle of business over the next potentially 12, 24, 36 months.
Look, first of all, my business credentials are unknown, so you need to look at me, and when you ask someone a question, you need to ask yourself, do I know this guy's credentials? I don't talk about business and money on my channel, therefore I'm an unknown quantity. Okay,
I know you've done figures before with a certain cream product.
right, but still, and it's not, I don't talk about it. So the advice I want to give to my audience is, you can't take advice from someone who hasn't shown receipts and track record. But just general advice is that when it comes to business, you just want to make sure that there is a big enough market for it. I can't emphasize that enough. You don't want to get into the business of trombone oil, because like half a liter of trombone oil is sold per year, and most people don't even know what a trombone is. It's an instrument, a round instrument that goes like that. So just make sure that there's a big enough market for whatever it is you want to get into. And that's it. But again, like, don't take from me when it comes to that stuff. I don't talk about this stuff on this channel.
Fair enough. Barakallahu feek. Very interesting. So where do we see what kind of content are we going to be getting over the next
but I can't tell you all my secrets, akhi. Patience is coming, inshallah. Don't worry.
MashaAllah. Khalas, akhi. Barakallahu feek.
You have a beautiful name, akhi. It's one of my son's name, mashallah.
Abu Abdurrahman.
Abu Abdurrahman. Khalas, we're both Abu Abdurrahman.
Subhanallah. That's it. Birds of a feather flock together.
Alhamdulillah. Look after yourself, akhi. Take care, inshallah.
Speak soon.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Right. Nade, what's going on?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How you doing, akhi?
Alhamdulillah. How are you, akhi?
Alhamdulillah. What you got to add to the discussion, my bro?
Yeah, I've been watching your contents also for like a past few weeks. It just popped up in the algorithm.
Good to know.
But I just wanted to ask you, like, a lot of the content that you say, I agree with it 100%. And I wish to share your content with my friends, who are, I can say, like, weak for to say, as Muslim husbands. Alhamdulillah, I've been married for the past 10 years almost now.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
So yeah, but whenever I talk to my wife about the second, so the conversation is just goes haywire and there's a lot of chaos at home. But anyway, I just wanted to, like, like, from you, like, as you are experienced and also a content creator, like, you guys should, like, come together. You, maybe, brother Gabriel Romani, I know him very well. We used to he used to stay in the UAE and we were good friends.
We're on the same social media groups on Telegram, bro. Like, we talk. Me and brother Gabriel, we go backwards and forwards. A lot of people think because of our debate from like nearly 2 years ago now that, nah, man,
Okay.
we cleared that over a long time ago. We talk on Telegram and so on.
Like, you guys should get together, maybe create a program where you teach how it is done, a
Well,
lot
from
of
what I
the
understand, brother Gabriel has already got a program. I believe he's got something called the Muslim Alpha course or something along those lines. So he's already got something out.
but I mean, is it streamlined for this, like when you talk about polygamy and then how
I don't
to
know, bro.
be
I don't know nothing about it. I don't know nothing about it,
Mhm.
man. But listen, I've got loads of other callers. I'm gonna bring them on. Nade, I appreciate you,
Sure,
my man.
sure.
Keep sharing this content, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair, barakallah fiqh.
Habibi.
Assalamu
Look
alaikum.
up. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ibn Malika. Did I say that
Mashallah.
correctly?
Yes, it's a nickname. My real name is Diya.
Diya.
Allah yubarik fiqh. Really
Allah
nice to meet you. MashaAllah. I
Hayakallah.
wanted to ask you about something. Two things, if that's all right.
Where are you from? Are you
I'm
Russian?
not sure. I'm in Russia, Moscow.
Yes, brother. You are
Very
dangerous.
cold. Allah yubarik fiqh. I was watching some of your content. I wanted to ask you about cold approach. What do you think of that? For seeking a wife.
Bro, I've done it. I'll do it. But
Is it a good idea? Is it like better than going through the internet or something like that? Or like, through brothers?
How thick is your skin? Can you take rejection? Can you deal with rejection?
Wallahi, I'll tell you, like mutawassit, like in the middle.
Try it, but don't kill yourself.
Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't.
Yeah, just don't kill yourself because it might hurt your self-esteem, bro.
Because of the options, I have issues with options. Sometimes I do have options, sometimes I don't.
Then just shoot your shot, bro. Look, it's not a big deal. Just shoot your shot and try, and keep it nice. Especially if we're talking cold approach in the street, keep it nice and formal, sister. Assalamu alaikum. I just seen you there. I'm not sure if you're married or not because you might be married. You don't know. But if you're not and you would like to explore a conversation, this is my number. Feel free to give it to your wali. Bounce. Done. Finished.
Second question, though. I've been married for 2 years to a Kitabiya.
Donnie's already married then. Okay, go on. Kitabiya. And she's a Christian or Jew?
Yes, a Christian.
Okay.
But she's traditional because in Russia, the Christians over here are a little more traditional than over there. I think so.
Yes, no,
so
you're right.
Any advice with that? Because, as the other brother was saying, chaos.
Well, what chaos are you experiencing exactly? I need
like, like you won't find that from a Muslim woman, bad language sometimes, blocking. She doesn't text you, she blocks you.
Yeah, that's a bit mad though. Well, what type of punitive measures, meaning how do you respond to this when she does that?
I just, what I do is that I say it's wrong. If she doesn't listen, I just ignore her.
Let me ask you one question, bro. Does she consume a lot of space in your mind during the daytime, worrying about problems?
Yes. But that I try to avoid it, but yes.
Yeah, this is bad news.
Like,
bro.
I think about it a lot because I try to, resolve the issue.
Have you got kids with her?
Alhamdulillah. No.
I don't blame you. Yeah,
Wallahi, this came out of my mouth.
Yeah. Okay, bro, if you're saying Alhamdulillah, no, then I think you already know the answer, big man.
What? The thing, my father was married for 20 years. He never gave talaq. So, I have that thing. just can't give talaq sometimes, you know. I have that.
No, I'm not saying you to give talaq. I'm not telling you to give talaq. But the truth of the matter is, most of us already have the answers to our questions. Let me ask you a question. If you were another brother, let's say your name is now Muhammad, and Muhammad, you are advising Ibn Malika. Ibn Malika is asking you this question. What would you say to him? What would you tell him?
Wallahi, I have a guy like this, same issue. But the thing is that, you know, because I study fiqh, yeah, and you know, I'm trying to imitate teachers, you know, in fiqh. So I always advise without divorce, you know, like to try to solve the situation. Because, for example, my spouse, she doesn't do anything, like she doesn't drink alcohol, she doesn't, you know, free mix or anything like that, because she's traditional. But the argument, you know, like it's like unlimited, you know.
Yeah, nah, that's all long, big man. That's all long, bruv. I have precisely 0% tolerance for this nonsense, BS. None, nada, yani walu, zero, nothing for this type of nonsense. None. And you know, look, marriage, aside from the being intimate with a woman in halal, the main purpose of marriage after that, protecting the private parts, is for the children. It's to provide children with a safe and secure upbringing, because that's how children are brought up best. Bro, you don't have any kids. So do you understand? Like, peace, akhi, peace. You know, the best way to describe being with a woman who consumes a lot of space in your mind is that you're running as fast as you can just to stay on the same spot. You're spending as much energy as possible just to stay exactly where you are. You're not making any progress in life. You're not moving forward. All of your energy is being spent on just staying right here. This is the best way for me to describe how it is to be with a woman who consumes so much space in your head with her chaotic nature. I don't know if you have that, but if that's what you're going through right now, then you need to ask yourself what's more important, your peace or this woman, especially that she's not Muslim and you don't have children. If you said to me she's Muslim, the conversation might be slightly different. If you said to me you had children with her, the conversation will be very different. But she's not Muslim and you don't have children.
It's not she. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Not that serious, I guess, or like not that needed. Yeah, there are always better options, basically.
Maybe
that's why I was asking about cold approach, honestly.
Yeah, maybe you need to secure the second wife. You maybe need to do what women do, bro, which is secure the next thing before moving. But now you've seen it on the internet, bro, so you're kind of done out here, to be honest.
Inshallah, wallahi, I watch your content, you know, just for, you know, like some benefits. Barakallah feekum. Jazakallah khair al jaza. I think I'm taking a lot of time. There are other callers. Thank you for your time. Allah yubarik fika, akhi. May Allah Azza wa Jal give you barakah. Assalamu alaikum, akhi. Allah yubarik.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allah yubarik fik. Yes, Anwar, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, brother. How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. What are you saying, akhi Anwar? Did you hear the joke? قال لك واحد جاء بزق وزلق.
Yeah.
صح نض وراح. سمعت. You heard this before.
I just was gonna, like, you know, spit and split.
Yes, Akhi Anwar, we got to add to the discussion, bro. Bismillah.
You know, I don't disagree with you. Like, you're not a bad influence, but you know, I agree with you like 99%. And I've been watching like many of your videos, and there are few things that I disagree, but I don't remember because I don't focus on them. Why? Because I believe that nobody is perfect. Nobody has like 100% like information. What I do, I just take what I need and I let everything that I don't need. Exactly. I watch you, I watch Brother Gabriel and Ali Dawa a lot, and I compare and I take what I want. Khalas. And the thing that I noticed, that your way is provoking. It's like attacking women, like not for us, like for men. When you watch you, when you see your videos, like reels, we like them, like we laugh at them and we like them. But for women, they find it like attacking or something.
Yeah.
And you might ask, wow, how did I notice this? I have an Instagram page, like 7Ks,
Yeah.
and sometimes I share one of your videos on my stories, and I
Okay.
get like a lot of comments, like women attacking me, like, what is this? This is wrong.
I don't know.
And men, they like it, like, yeah, he's genius, and I like it.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I'm polarizing. You know, it is what it is. I don't pretend
Yeah,
to not be. It's just how I am, yani. I don't know what to say. You know.
yeah. Last time I've seen your video, your podcast with Ali Dawa, and the moment when you was talking about, I expect her to to share with me the bill, and you know, I already understand what you're gonna say. Like, I understand that she will help you with her, like, and she's happy. But women don't understand that. Like, they need clarification, But men, we don't need. Like, I just understand. You just said 2 words, and I understand everything that you will
He who
say.
wants to understand will understand, and the one who doesn't want to understand, he will not understand. And usually, it's because there is some type of negative experience in their mind. I have reminded them of a negative experience, and that's what's created them to be so emotional. That's usually what it is.
Yeah,
Well, who cares
exactly.
anyway? And what I'm going to bring on the next caller is a pleasure talking to you, my man.
Yeah.
Take care,
Thank you.
Habib. Assalamu alaikum. Shavaz, did I say that correctly?
Assalamu alaikum, brother Mahdi. How are you?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. How you doing, akhi?
I'm doing good. Calling from America.
My man.
Yes. Okay, so first I can start with I guess the title of the video. Uh, I don't have a problem with your content. I do feel like you are helping bringing in masculinity back to men, but sometimes like your content is very triggering to some people. I don't know
The truth is
if you do it
triggering.
on
I don't know what
purpose.
to say. I
Yes.
mean, look, my nature, the stuff I do, bro, it comes so naturally. And I'm starting to wonder if is there something wrong with me, because there's so many human beings who react in a certain type of way. But at the same time, as much hate as I get the same amount, if not more, love as well. So, but it's just my personality bent. This is the bent in my personality. It's just how I am. I'm quite confrontational, very direct, and I don't really what's the word? I don't mince my words. But yeah, go on.
I do appreciate your content, to be honest. I have a question real quick. So I'm 26 years old. I make about $80,000 a year,
Good
right?
for you.
The women that I find that are willing to marry me, they want to do 50-50 everything, right? And
Okay.
I find them like they're usually older. They're 25, 26 years old. So I'm not really sure how to proceed with that. I don't know a woman who wants to work, right? If she has to, that's another story, right? But like, I feel like for women, it's like an optional thing, right? They can.
Is this getting in the way of you getting married with these girls?
Yes.
Here's the thing, bro, is that it's very difficult to.
And I have found doctors, right? They're doing their residency, but here's the thing, right? They want 2-3 years before like having kids. They want me to wait 2-3 years. So I'm paying for everything financially. I'm responsible for everything, right? So what are they bringing in for like to the table? What benefit do I get from them besides the physical aspects?
I got you, but here's the thing. Listen to me. Is that when you marry a woman, typically, and if she falls in love with you and she desires you, those two things together very important. A woman can be in love with you and not desire you, and a woman can desire you and not be in love with you. But so long as she's in love with you and she desires you, by extension, she will have respect for you, bro. She's just gonna fall into your frame, and it's gonna be fine. All of this, I went to work, bitch. No, you don't want to work. Stop talking nonsense. What are you talking about? You want to be at home watching Netflix? Stop lying.
No, but their argument is like they have spent like, I don't know, 13, 14 years of their lives, studying, getting a degree.
I know, sunk cost fallacy. I get it. I do get it. But I'm just saying that all of that stuff goes out the window once she's in your frame. And a woman is not in your frame until you have been intimate with her. And as Muslims, we are not intimate with a woman until we marry her. Do you see?
Okay. So you're saying go for it.
I'm saying so long as she ticks the most important boxes, the rest is going to fall into place. I don't want you guys to be in a situation where you're out here still not married, which is a lot worse, to be honest with you. This is how you have to weigh it up now. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get this, and there's a strong possibility she's gonna fall into line, inshallah ta'ala. Or I just stay here like this. What am I gonna do? Do you understand?
Yes.
So a lot of these details, they go out the window once you get married. Do you understand?
True. True.
All right, my man. I'm gonna bring on the next caller, Shahbaz. Look after yourself, Habibi.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Bye.
Assalamu alaikum. I can see Bil's face there. Don't worry, Bills. I'm bringing you on in a bit. Jafar, assalamu alaikum. Bro, you're muted, bruv. You need to unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What are you
How
saying,
are
Akh?
you, Mahdi Tidjani, bro?
Alhamdulillah. What are you saying, Akh?
I'm chilling, bro. I'm gonna put my headphones on 1 sec.
Go on, go for it. Bismillah.
Bismillah rahim, bro. I'm so happy to speak to you, bro. I've been watching your content for so long.
I appreciate it, my man. Alhamdulillah. How long you been watching for now?
Bro, I can't lie. I saw you on that one girls thing where you like destroyed a bunch of white girls.
Yeah.
But,
so
bro,
we got to add to the discussion, my man.
Okay, first thing, bro. For the topic, bro, I can't lie, bro. You've been so good to me, bro. Look at the gains, bro. I'm getting a little bigger, you know.
Come on. That's what I'm talking about.
I've been simping a little bit less. I've been lowering my gaze. So inshallah, brother, it comes back to you in Jannah, bro. But bro, I think you should soften up a little bit, man. Just a little bit. But bro,
a bit too hard, yeah?
I think so. Cause bro, I just heard you know what she said? You're like, bro, even if she's calling me, I don't talk to her all day, bro. I see her this time, I see her. But bro, what's love to you then, bro?
How long you been married for, Jafar?
Bro, 0 years. Just like the other brother said.
I mean, you're trying to teach the fishermen how to fish. I mean, come on,
no,
bro.
Of course, I feel you. But like, bro, you know, a lot of people say like when a girl calls you, hey, where are you? What are you doing? When she's worried about you, that's their sense of love. You know what I mean?
I hate that. I hate that BS. Don't. Where are you? What are you doing, brother? You my mom. Sit back down. You're not my mom, bro. You're my wife. I will call you if I need. If she wants to call me, Habibi, we need such and such, or Habibi, do you mind picking up such and such, or Habibi, something's happened. No problem. Absolutely fine.
But is there no
Habibi? I want to talk to you. I am feeling. Please shut up.
Yeah, but like, is Ghira doesn't go both ways?
Ghira? What's that got to do with what's that got to do with LeBron James's legacy, bro?
No, but like when she calls you, she's like, "Yo, I'm worried about you. Are you with another woman? Are you doing this, that?" Like, I feel like somebody wants me. You know what I mean? I like when my mom calls me at night. I like it, bro. My mom's like, "Where are you, bro?" That's what I feel love is. So how?
Bro, are you marrying your mom?
No, that's true. That's true. No, you're right.
Relationship.
But yo, why do you think that way though? Like, do you think I'm wrong then? Do you think like when a girl call, I like that, bro. I would rather a girl call me.
How do you know? I got one question for you, my little brother Jafar.
Nah.
You said you like that, but you also said you have 0 years experience of being married. So my question to you is, how do you know that you like that?
Because I like being like wanted, bro. You know what I mean? I know if you're secure with your woman at home, you know, okay, she wants me. She wants nobody else. But bro, like in the day age we live in now.
How old are you?
21. I'm 21.
21.
Yeah.
When you get married, bro, trust me, all this is gonna wear off. But it's hard for me to explain it to you right now because you're still not married. So I don't know if there's a sister on the scene right now, and you're feeling like the butterflies and the emotions. And I'm seeing a little smile on your face, and there's clearly a thing there. So I'm gonna say to you is make it halal ASAP, bro. Make it halal ASAP.
No, bro, alhamdulillah, bro. I've been out of that life, bro. I wish I had more time with you to tell you my story, bro, but I don't have all day. But bro, we'll move on to the next topic because I get you now. But I have another question for you. You know how, Bismillah, bro, in Surah An-Nisa, you say like where you know the one that says you can marry 4 women. I'm not sure how it is. I don't want to butcher anything right now. But bro, every time I tell my mom about it, she tells me this one thing. She tells me at the end of the verse, this in Surah An-Nisa, it says that you guys won't be adil between them. What's your thoughts about that? Like, of course our prophet was adil. I know that, but like,
well, first of all, let me just tell you something. Yeah, I ain't no student of knowledge or alim or sheikh, so who cares what my thoughts are on it? Now you're asking for tafsir al-Quran. You can't be coming to me for tafsir al-Quran. Now I know the answer, but my opinion on this is irrelevant because I'm not an Islamic authority. And this is where, guys, you need to be really careful with this, by the way. Just because you take a liking to someone's an online personality for something doesn't mean that they can answer everything.
Of course.
But I can tell you as a matter of fact that this ayah is just making it clear that you will never be just between them all. It's impossible to be completely just between them. First of all, you're going to love one of them more than the other, or you're going to have a favorite. You can't help that. You cannot help that. All right, but you do your best.
Bro,
do your best to be adil between them.
Sorry, bro, but yesterday I was watching the one where she the video that's titled she moans really hard when they're around. You know, the one of the brothers in England who are married to multiple wives, and it's like a BBC documentary or something. You know.
Okay, that's one also old one. Yeah.
Okay. Bro, if you see my tabs on Chrome right now, it's all your videos, bro. All your videos.
My guy, you know when people tell me this, people quote videos to me, and I'm like, which video is that? Years ago, which one is that?
It hits us different, bro. It hits us different, bro. We research your videos, man. Wallah, shukran, bro. Like, I swear, what you do for us, bro, especially the younger generation, it means a lot, bro. Thank you so much, bro. But, bro,
yes.
One last thing, bro. I swear, brother, I have a problem where I fall in love with my eyes too quick, bro. I know that.
I knew it, bro. I knew it. You're a lover boy. Go on.
I'm a lover, bro. I come bro, when I was younger, bro, I came from Iraq and I didn't see anything, bro. When I came here to Canada, bro, I was like, it was a shock to me. And bro, the shaitan was
playing. You speak Iraqi?
Of course, طبعا حبيبي. شكو ماكو.
شكو ماكو. ماكو هيك حكي.
Bro, I love my Jazari brothers, bro. My best friend's Jazari, bro. He's a Mazikh, bro. He's a really good guy. But yeah, bro, I fall in love with my eyes too often, bro. You know, like, I know I should think of the future, like, how is this woman, how is she gonna be? Is she gonna be a good wife to my kids? I know that's the thought I should have, but bro, how, like, I've been trying to lower my gaze, wallah, bro, but it's just when I see a beautiful woman, that's what I judge a wife on. And I know you've said this multiple times, like, brother, I don't want to.
If that's not pretty privilege, then I don't know what is.
What'd you say?
If that's not pretty privilege, then I don't know what is.
That's true. That's true, brother. I know, but I'm young. You know, I feel privileged that I have all the years in front of me to like pick and choose, and that's the problem, you know. And I don't know, bro. I need to put my head down. I know that, and I need to grind on myself and be a good father for my kids. But bro, I keep falling in love with my eyes, and even if it's not a Muslim sister, I'm like, yo, maybe I can ihdi her, bro. And maybe if it's like I can fix that, I can do this, I can do that.
Once you get married, you'll be fine, bro. Is there a sister that you're considering marrying at this moment in time?
Bro, honestly, where I live, bro, I'm in Alberta, bro. There's no there is, bro. Yeah, Canada. Bro. I'm in the snow, bro. It's all snow bunnies out here, bro. If you know what I mean.
Well, akhi, once you get married, Ja'far, you'll be fine, akhi. And all of this stuff is gonna. Your hormones are raging right now. That's all.
Bro, what do you exactly, bro? What do you suggest for me, bro? You think I should keep seeking a woman right now, or keep grinding on myself?
What's the advice of the Prophet ﷺ? Prophet ﷺ said, if you're able to get married, then get married. If you can't, then fast.
And on that, Ramadan Kareem to all my brothers and sisters, bro.
Look after yourself, akhi Ja'far.
Thank you so much, wallah, bro. Jazakallah khair, bro.
Habibi, jazakallah khair wa iyyak. Salam alaikum, bro. Salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Right. Zenzi. Hello. Is anybody there? Nope. Abdullah. Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
كيف الحال أخي عبد الله? How you doing, bro?
الحمد لله أنت؟
Alhamdulillah. Your audio is a bit terrible, أخي.
I know. Do you hear me now?
Yeah, your audio is a bit mad, bro. I'm gonna have to bring on someone else. Abdul Latif, السلام عليكم.
السلام عليكم. شو رايكم؟
شو رايك خو لاباس؟
لاباس بخير.
الحمد لله. Where you from,
الحمد
أخي?
لله. I'm in New Jersey right now.
Okay, where you from ethnically?
Ethnically, I'm Muslim.
I know that, bro. As in, which country you from?
North African. You have to guess though.
North African. Okay, go on. Yeah, Bismillah. تفضل.
What is it? I'm Jazairi.
باينة.
I have no questions for you. I'm just I agree with you like 99.9%, just like Mr. Clean, but what I'm trying to say is women in general, they do have a problem with men. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but it's quite complicated. I'm trying to use my English accent right now, but it's not that good. But
Akhi Abdul Latif, you look bare nervous, my bro. It's okay, Akhi. Coming onto to someone's stream for the first time can be nerve-wracking. I appreciate you, my man. Man like Bills.
Assalamu alaikum, Mahdi. How are you,
Wa
my
alaikum
friend?
assalam wa rahmatullah. Hashtag make Bilal famous. Show me that hashtag in the chat. I want to see it. Let me start this.
I get a bit too famous with you,
Hold
but
on.
anyway,
Hold
what I
on,
wanted
hold
to
on.
ask you,
Go on. I'm listening, San.
what I wanted to ask you about is, I know you have 8 children. I was just wondering how you manage with so many children. You know,
Wait.
like how do you manage day to day and everything, and changing all the nappies? How do you manage?
What are you talking about? All right, it's in the chat. Make the hashtag make Bilal famous. I want to see that. Hashtag make Bilal famous. Yes, big man. I don't change nappies. Next question.
Okay. Well, how do you how?
Can you do me a favor? Can you answer
Yeah.
a question on the stream, bro? Because you've asked me this question before. Can you answer the question on the stream, which is the content that Mahdi Tidjani produces good or bad influence?
I think you're a good influence, Mahdi. I have no problem with you, my friend.
Yeah, but you disagree with me half the time, bro.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, I disagree. I disagree that because last time I disagreed with you on the point that women should just do all the housework and then men should just sit back. I think there's circumstances where the men should help the woman. The man should help the woman.
Yeah.
Like you're like if the man and woman are both working, then they should both do the chores, isn't it?
Do you know something? Yeah, I swear to God, I was thinking about this earlier. Our grandfathers and our great grandchildren. Okay,
Yep.
so the past and the future.
Yeah.
The past right now, they're laughing at us for having these dumb discussions, and the future will look back on us and be like, bro, they were actually spending hours talking about cooking and cleaning. What type of dumb, ridiculous nonsense is this? Such dead discussions, bruv. Like, oh my days, I'm over it, bruv. Do you understand? If you want to cook and clean, more power to you, bro. Bismillah. Alhamdulillah.
All right.
Do your thing, bruv.
One thing I'd like to ask also is how do you manage financially? Because you must need a big house and which costs a lot of money.
You want me to give you the secret sauce, Bills? I can't give you all my secrets. Do you know what I mean, son?
Well, I can give you. I told you what I do in my day job, innit? I told you I'm an accountant. I was doing Just Eat.
Yeah, but what I want to know is if you married that sister from Malawi or not.
I'm actually reconsidering it. To be fair.
Oh my days! All right, give the backstory. Give the backstory to the people who don't know what the French toast we're talking about. Tell them about this sister from Malawi.
There's a lady in Malawi, and I got in contact with her over a matrimonial app. And she said she's going to come to London. She's come to London, and she never came to London because of visa issues. And now, and then I said, okay, if you're not coming to London, I'm going to reject you. I'm sorry. And then she said, okay. And then I sort of recontacted her again and said, I need to show a bit of commitment here. I might come to Malawi for you.
Bilal, listen, my bro. I wish you all the best for that one. I think it's a bit far. I'm gonna bring on the next caller, my man. Look after yourself, Bilal. Yeah. Take care, Habibi. Assalamu alaikum. Rana, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Can you hear me?
Can hear you. What are you saying, Akhi?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. What you got to add to the discussion, bro?
All right. The topic is if you're a good influence or a bad influence. I think it's like people put like all the responsibility on whoever sends the message and not on who like takes the message and digests it. It's because like nowadays people like to receive the message and digest it and decode it with a lot of their own emotion. And if they feel like they don't have enough information, then they just fill it in with the emotion that they're feeling, and then they're just gonna get mad at something because
Yeah.
they felt you might have meant it something. You know what I say?
I got you. I agree. Rona, my man. I'm gonna be on. Listen, guys. I appreciate you guys. I really don't want people coming on agreeing with me. To be honest, I want you to challenge me. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I do appreciate the love. Believe me, I appreciate the love. But I have blind spots, and I'd like to know what they are and where they are. So if you have something that you would like to disagree with me on, you are welcome to come on. Mujtaba Siddiqui, salam alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. How are you doing, Mahdi?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. How you doing, akhi?
Good, alhamdulillah. I know after what you just said, but you're right. There's a lot of people, 99%, they said they agree with you, and 1%, but they can't name what that 1% is. You hit the nail on the head. But I'll say it. You haven't said anything yet that I think I disagree with. I did have a question for you, though.
Of course. Bismillah, tfaddal.
So, Brother Andrew Tate's idea of the Matrix, do you believe that? Do you think that's real?
Which bit exactly?
There's an organized effort by a large group of people who are at the upper echelons of wealth attacking masculinity because it's easier to run the civilization that they want to run it in that way.
The problem with this theory, although there may be truth in it, is that when you if this is true, then ultimately if you're in power, you're going to lose your power because you rely upon, as to use Tate's language, the peasants and the peons to fight your wars, right? But if you emasculate all your men and you turn them into some Frankenstein creature of a woman slash man, well, then you don't have any men to fight your wars, and then the next nation that comes in who does have proper strong men, they're just going to conquer you. So whilst I do believe for sure that the elite who are in power, they have an agenda and they want to see that agenda to the end, I don't see it in their interests, in their best interest, to emasculate men, because they're just shooting themselves in the foot, unless we are to agree somehow that the elites are stupid, because ultimately this is how empires fall. Are you with me?
Yeah, and I think Tate would agree with you, and that's why he's launching the efforts that he is. But don't you think the future of wars are technology based, like robots?
Yeah, that bro, that's a question that's outside of my wheelhouse, but with the way, because I've been going deep diving on ChatGPT lately.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, bro, like it's a bit crazy, to be honest with you. The beta males are going to be fighting the wars now. the geeky, nerdy beta males, they're the ones that are going to be fighting these wars with all of their robots and whatnot.
I did have one other. So you know the hadith that says that women will outnumber men 50-1.
Yes.
I could be wrong, but do you think it could mean that maybe, like in your words, the beta males will they'll have their AI and their digitalized women, and all the real ones will have no one, so they'll have to go to the Muslim men?
You know, Allahu Alam, but that's an interesting take. But to be honest with you, who cares what I think? Anything when it comes to these Shari'i questions, bro, I'm not an authority, so who cares what I think? This question needs to be taken to like a sheikh or something. Do you understand? It's an interesting take, but Mahdi Tidjani's opinion and answer is irrelevant. Mahdi Tidjani should not be asked. Are you with me?
Yeah.
All right, my man. Look after yourself.
All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allah's servant.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. I'm gonna be brief. Actually, the first time I knew about your channel was when I saw the video, like the talk show that you did with Ali Dawa.
Okay.
And after that, I checked your channel and I watched a couple of videos.
Okay.
And my first impression was, I think you have a negative impact on Muslim youth, especially in the West.
Okay. Go on.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I think you lack. Don't take this like personally or something. I think you lack proper hayat, what we call proper adab. Especially.
So, give me an example of something you're referring to. Then, first of all, how many videos have you watched? No. Let me backtrack even more. Did you watch the entire podcast, or did you watch just TikToks?
What podcast you're talking about?
The Ali Dawa podcast.
Yeah, I watched like the first half, I think. Then it got boring after a while.
and then you proceeded to watch a couple of videos on my channel. How many videos have you
Yeah.
watched on my channel, and which ones?
Like 4. I don't actually remember. I
Okay.
didn't watch like the entire video.
Okay, fine.
Because
And,
I'm,
and
you know,
what do you take issue with exactly?
I think the issue is quite obvious. I think you have a distorted vision of women. It's not compatible with
Be
Islamic teaching.
specific. So what is distorted about my vision of women? What specifically, on the 4 videos that you have watched, what specifically do you find distorted in my views?
I think you regard women as some, like, especially like Muslim, I mean, in the context of marriage, I think you regard the wife as some kind of a glorified maiden, like a glorified prostitute, and then a woman is just.
How old are you, bro? First of all,
let me finish.
I will let you
women.
finish, but how old are you?
I'm 25.
How many years you been married?
I'm not married.
Okay, go on. That explains a lot. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, and okay, I forgot. Okay, yeah, I think you I think like this is like the impression that I got, like, from you is that women are just assets that we men have to use, to prove how men we are, how manly we are.
Mhm.
I think that's not the vision of that's not what constitutes manhood in Islam. I think that's a very Western materialistic way of looking at men.
You know, brother,
in
one
general.
thing I want to point out to you is you use the phrase "I think" a lot, and
Yeah.
what that indicates to me is that you're just not sure of anything you're saying. When someone says "I think," it's because they're not sure.
So I don't understand. That's not an argument. I don't understand.
The point that I'm making to you is that you don't sound like you have conviction in what you're saying.
Yes, I
So
have.
why should the audience listen right now?
I'm not saying that they should listen. I'm just giving you my opinion, my impression, and.
So okay, give your opinion using specific examples. Get into the nitty-gritty.
Okay, let's start. Okay, okay. I think the way that you spoke, like, for example, the way you spoke about, I mean, this is how I see it. Like, I just I rewatched the talk that you did with Ali Dawa, and there are specific expressions, terms that I can use to determine your line of thinking. Understand?
Okay,
It's very
go on.
easy. It's quite easy. Like biological clock, the marriage market. This term that is not
Yes,
found.
it is a marriage market, and there is a biological clock. What's wrong with those 2 words?
Yeah, the biological clock. Okay, that's fine. But the problem is, I don't think it's a proper way, like, to talk about women as if like these are just products that have an expiration date. I don't see you talking about men that.
Brother, if you're single, or indeed if you're looking to get married, because you might be a man who's not single, you're on
Yeah.
the marriage market. It is a market.
No,
There are
no.
buyers and sellers. If you are single and if you've been consistently rejected, it means that nobody wants to buy what you're selling.
Yeah,
If you are married, or you've had marriages or whatever, it means what you have offered, what you're selling, has been bought. It might be a crude analogy, but it's still a pertinent analogy nonetheless.
No,
If it
it's
makes
not.
you feel a certain type of way, that's not my problem. That's your problem.
No,
but
it's
it's
not.
still a correct analogy to use. It is a market, and the market consists of buyers and sellers.
Can you give me like something in our Islamic tradition that is close to this term marriage market? Anything, like anything.
What has that got to do with LeBron James's legacy?
Who?
Exactly. Al Harith, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How you doing, man?
Alhamdulillah. What are you saying, my man?
Do you remember me?
I don't, bro. Forgive me, akhi.
Let's go, man. I saw you a few months ago, but so we wanted to talk about. I was listening to all these different things and opinions, and I agree with you in most things, but there are a few things I disagree with, and I'm gonna go ahead with the first one, which I would say is your no strings nikah. Yani, I don't really agree with the idea of like putting kinks on, yani, especially for people who aren't married yet or have never been married. Like, let me give you an analogy. let's say I have a chocolate cake, a strawberry cake, a shortcake, and then a carrot cake, and I tell you, which one do you like? All right, and you never tried any of them before. Now, there's really no way to look at it, and you're never gonna know. And I feel like when you talk about like these kinks and you bring them out, I mean, it's a little indecent. I saw a lot of like some of the posts you have about like women talking about whatever weird kinks they have. I just feel like it's not really part of haya, and it's not a good direction.
Maybe you have a point there. That the context for that was at that moment in time when the app launched, there was a number of sisters who had responded in the confessions link that I had put up, if you recall, who were either in marriages where they were extremely dissatisfied, or they were in marriages previously whereby the reason that they left was because their husbands were not fulfilling their intimate needs, and they had no way of expressing to a man before marriage, like, look, I'm into this type of stuff. Do you understand? So it was kind of like some type of crude low level market research, so to speak. Are you with me? Hence why
I get what you're saying.
Hence why those filters were invented.
I mean, is there a better way to go about doing it just in general? So
maybe
just keep the haya levels.
Tell me, what do you suggest? Maybe you have a point.
I mean, first of all, like just in general, I mean, why can't it be fixed? Once they get married. I mean, really, when you think about it, I don't see it's such a difficult thing to figure out. You're married, I'm not married, so I'm sure you know better than me.
How long you been married for?
I just told you I've never been married. But I feel like, I mean, what is it? It's just like the way you move your body, right?
It's not as simple as that, especially. All right, first of all, you need to know this. From an anatomy point of view, the majority of women are unable to climax through penetration alone. It's very important to know. This is because the location of, this is a biology lesson now, the location of, I think it's around 70% of women, the location of their clitoris is external, not internal. What this means is she is unable to climax through penetration alone because the clitoris is externally located and needs some type of external friction applied to it. Are you with me? Now, bro, I guarantee you 90% of men did that basic stuff there. I guarantee you 90% of men didn't even know that. So couple that now with a woman who has been married before, or she's coming from a jahiliyyah, or she's a riva and she's had a number of experiences and so on. And then she's going to marry a brother who doesn't know anything about anything when it comes to this type of stuff. This is when these problems come out. You understand?
But is that like I don't feel like that's very relevant. That's more about experience. The kinks were more like dom versus sub, and vanilla, like that type of stuff. That's what you. That's what was on the list. How was it like?
That was off the back of what the feedback I was getting from those sisters. But look, I'm open. Look, if for example, like what you're saying, another sheikh, bona fide, ratified sheikh says, look, this is not the one, I'll get rid of it, akhi. This is something that has not been done before. So mistakes are going to be made. And I'm open to listening to qualified individuals and their opinions in that regard. Are you with me?
Right. Yeah. No, another thing I want to talk about, and I don't disagree with you on this one, so I just want to give you a little bit of context. Yeah. So my friend and I always have a bit of back and forth about you, I know. And he watched your video. I think you were on Ali Dawa's podcast when there was like a couple of girls there too. And
you hear me?
Oh, you didn't hear me?
I said you.
I can hear you.
You and who were speaking?
A friend. Just I don't want to give his name, obviously.
Okay, go on.
Yeah. So you were on Ali Dawa's podcast with like these there's like these three girls or something. You know which one? I think it was recent. Yeah. And you're talking about like the pregnancy thing. I don't know. You actually had like a stream about like giving birth about this maybe like several 8 months ago or something like that, a while back, and I listened to it. And he was like, "Oh, Mahdi's retarded, whatever." I'm like, "Okay, man, let's talk about it." So we went over and watched the video, and I mean, I totally agree with what you're saying. Like, you go into the room, what the hell are you supposed to do there? You're just wasting your time. And I mean, I just you're just kind of just in there, just in the way. I don't see what's wrong with just not being there. I don't get why it's like seen as Ali Dawa. He kind of made a big deal out of it, like is evil in some way in the beginning, and then even she's like, you get what I'm saying? Like I don't get why it's such a big deal that a guy has to be there in the first place when he has nothing to do. I mean, you got to work. You don't expect your woman to go with you to work to give you some emotional support.
I don't even remember the discussion properly now, by the way. But first of all, shout out to Ali Dawa. That's not what he was saying, but he was saying like for the first time to experience it, to see it. Maybe you want to experience. Maybe you do. You know, if this is your first kid, fine. You want to experience it. You want to see it. But then he agreed. Like after that, like I don't really want to see that. I don't want to experience that. So we were on the same
Right.
page with regard.
Yeah,
Harith,
it's good.
I'll bring on another call, inshallah, my man. Okay.
All right, man. Assalamu alaikum, bro.
Habibi, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Somali Pirate, shout out for the $5 super chat. Assalamu alaikum, Mahdi, my guy from America. This is like the 10th time you got cancelled. Where did I get cancelled, bro? I literally just checked my TikTok to see if the account got cancelled. It's still there, bro. We good. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. How are you today?
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. How are you, sister? And what do you have to add to the discussion?
I think, forgive me, I didn't watch the whole stream. It's one of the very few that I've missed of yours, but I get the whole gist of it given the other brothers that I've listened to.
Mm-hmm.
I think in terms of your delivery, yes, some things could be better. I do think that in terms of streams, you should bring more women on, apart from me. Because
if the women called, believe me, I'd bring them on. The women don't call.
what's wrong with you women out there? Come and bloody call. Man, me, I'm bloody here just talking.
25% of my audience are women, but they just don't call in. I think they're scared or intimidated or something. I don't know. But they're there ninja watching. I see you guys. I know you're watching. I see you. You're eating.
They should. Because I think personally, you cover a lot of things that the masjids don't cover, that sheikhs don't cover, that most communities don't even cover. And you know, as a lady on the sisters group who's quite active on there, you know, a lot of ladies do agree with what you're saying, and they're not brainwashed or converted in any way. Women are generally like that. We do have certain preferences. We don't like simps. We prefer dominant men.
You heard
we
it.
Want to be at home.
You heard it. There you go, gents. You heard it. Listen, if there's sisters, if you want to call in, the link is in the chat. You can call in if you have a question, even if you disagree with me. You are welcome to disagree with me. The link is in the chat. You can call.
One thing I do want to ask though, brother, it's a serious question. Do you practice what you preach yourself?
Well, what are you talking about exactly?
The Tidjani tax. Somebody's going to make a meme out of that.
Well, it's not an issue in the first place because it's not working. So what's the problem? But if you see, I use that example, by the way, for someone who doesn't have for some reason, he's lacking the authority to tell his wife not to work.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I didn't quite understand that when you said it.
Yeah, that's not for me, bro. That's not for me. That's not a woman. Just be quiet. Go make my food. But I'm saying for someone who lacks that authority. Do you understand?
Yeah, and I think as well, like, I think what tends to be quite wrong is women tend to react to what they've seen in life. So, for example, if they've, especially in the South Asian background communities, and I don't want any brothers saying that, Asian brothers saying that I'm wrong, because they don't see it. They're not women. But basically, throughout changes in generation, when they've seen, you know, their mothers who haven't gone to school and who stayed at home being housewives and not been appreciated, your psychological reaction is to do the opposite.
I do agree with
go
that.
And go in the opposite direction, which is why I don't think women are being appreciated enough when they go into their natural feminine role and when they want to go into their natural feminine role. And that does open them up to be safety nets to some guys financially. This is something I've experienced myself. And I'm sorry, like, whether some women want to agree with me or not, biologically we're not made like that. There's only so much stress that we can take. You know, there are some things that guys just need to decide. Personally speaking, for example, around the house, I'm terrible with stuff to do with cars. I don't understand tech. I don't understand DIY. I don't like touching the bins, but I still have to do it. But you know, these are things that, for this personally, I acknowledge I'm weak at, but I just, because I'm not married at the moment, I think it's up to every person. They have to be willing to admit their flaws, they have to be willing to develop, and they have to be willing to change. But that's also as well, like, the one thing that I do like about you, which very, very few influencers do, is that you acknowledge where your limits are in terms of knowledge, and you're happy to refer it to somebody else. Whereas some a lot of influencers think that they know everything without actually saying, because Islamically, I'm pretty sure it's written in hadith that if you are going to solve a problem for someone, you must have the knowledge and know how to do so. And if there is a limit or, you know, a space in your knowledge, you should refer that to somebody else if you can't
Well,
fix
this
it.
is especially the case when it comes to the religion. I don't play with the religion. Like the religion, I don't play with that. Like, I am not an authority to answer religious questions. If I have the answer and it's a basic question, by all means, I'll share it. But as soon as people start asking me like rules and regulations and things like this, that's what, don't ask me. I'm not that guy. You understand? And this is out of respect for the religion as well. And everyone needs to know their place. I even do this with other questions. People ask me about all sorts, business or whatever. But why are you asking me? Have you seen me talk about that stuff on here? How do you know if I am I'm an unknown quantity?
Yeah, I mean, I've even before I came across your content, you know, when people have approached me for anything, if there's something I don't know, I'd rather just say I don't know. It's better to do that than give the wrong advice. And
there's a saying in by one in Arabic. قال أحد من الأهل العلم النصف العلم لا أدري. One of the people of knowledge, he said, half of knowledge is I don't know. That's half of knowledge. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think as well, especially in terms of the physical side of things, you know, obviously it's not appropriate for me to go into detail as a lady, as a practicing lady. You know, I don't want my mom seeing the stream and slapping me later on. But basically, like as a man, you do have the openness to do that. As a lady, it's not appropriate. Again, you know, it's permanent, it's online. You can go further than a lady can with regards to these issues. And to be quite frank, I don't think you need more haya. I think it's good that you're addressing these issues, because if the mosques were doing it, if the communities were doing it, we'd be a better ummah. Straight up.
No, I don't want to bash the masajid. It's a lot more complicated. Like, let me be honest, let me just level with you guys, yeah? I speak to some guys who do da'wah guys, low-key da'wah guys. And they say to me, like, a lot of the topics I discuss, they agree with me, but they can't talk about it themselves, because if they do, they will lose their audience. And it's more important for them to talk about but hold on, I don't blame them. It's more important for them to talk about things like aqidah and stuff like this than to talk about the marriage stuff, because as soon as they get onto this type of marriage stuff, they lose their audience completely. But the topics they are talking about are more important, aqidah, faith, for example. So one of them said to me, is like, we need someone to talk about this type of stuff. It just can't be us. And it's a perfect little niche that I found for myself, because I know these guys, they're pigeonholed. They can only go so far with what they say before they start getting cancelled. You know, they won't be invited to lectures, or even their local masjid will turn them away. I'm talking like low level guys. By low level, I mean not big influencer types, just like small guys who are doing the da'wah and so on. So it's complicated. It is complicated.
But yeah, and I think as well, like the one thing that you did address in one of your videos, which I am glad you did, was the video about Faria al-Maktoum, because honestly, I said it in the group as well, like everybody was thinking it. You just said it. She is a shame to our Pakistani women's society, and we're not all like that. Majority of us are in fact the opposite. We're very strictly raised and mostly quite conservative. In fact, obviously I wasn't always a hijabi sister myself, but I was a bit strange in the fact that the more attention I got outside of university and in the workplace, the more I felt the need to cover up. It just naturally happened. It wasn't something that it was forced upon me or anything like that. It was just something that naturally happened. And with regards to my clothing, I mean, alhamdulillah, I have amazing parents that always made sure that I didn't become a coconut in that respect. I was always in touch with my roots and my language and things like that. And you know what? Like yourself and Ali Dawa say, hijab isn't just to do with the clothing. It's to do with your voice, the way you act, the way you sit. And, you know, there are certain things that they used to do in the old society, which I truly believe should be brought back. Things like elocution, deportment, and elegance classes, because honestly, some girls, they're probably looking 100 times prettier than I am on Instagram and all these stupid platforms that I don't really indulge in. But as soon as they open their mouth, my lord, it's like I'm talking to some Crips gangster or from LA. It's disgusting.
Lana, I see Lana in the chat. If you want the link to the there's a sisters Telegram group, the one that the sister is on referring to right now, Sister FS. If you want that link, you're gonna have to email me because it's a private link. I will send you the link and then you can join the group. And Sister FS, she's on there. You'll find her loads of other sisters, and there's a separate section of loads of brothers' profiles as well. Sister, I appreciate you coming on, and I'll speak to you soon, inshallah. Take care.
Duas to your family, inshallah.
Shukran. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm out. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.